So with Anthem quickly approaching, I figured it'd be the best time to get a video out for you guys on how to level efficiently, but also some general tips and tricks to kind of help you guys out through your everyday play sessions and just to make life easier for yourself and your group if you end up playing with one. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with leveling. Now, we've done every activity in this game so far, from strongholds to free play, to missions, to contracts. And in terms of rewards, well, strongholds and contracts, depending on the difficulty of them, are usually the best. If you weren't aware, with the day one patch, strongholds seem to be giving quite a bit of loot, and the boss does drop loot as well at the very end, as well as the chests just seem to be very rewarding, as well as legendary contracts were put into the game, so it kind of just made those two the go-to for items of higher caliber. But that's not what we're here for. We're trying to do leveling. So from what we've noticed, as we had a member in our group that fell behind due to some in-game bugs, was rapidly leveling through missions. Now, if you aren't aware what missions are those, that's anything that's a story mission or an agent mission. We were, doing these. We were ranging from 5 to 8 to 9,000, depending on how many mobs there were, how many commendations you could acquire. And it just made leveling so much quicker. Almost each mission would give about 40 to 50% sometimes, depending on the difficulty of it, or name the difficulty of it, but the steps, how long was it, and again, how many commendations could you acquire. So all in all, was missions hands down. If you're wanting to get to 30 quickly, which is really what this game is all about, you can get some masterworks around 25 or so. That's when they start to pour in, but your end-all goal should be to get to level 30 and then enjoy the game from there. Mind you, this is just for people that are trying to rush. If you want to enjoy the storyline, by all means do you, but that will get you the most XP for your hour. Another thing you can do is talk to all the NPCs. Now, this kind of falls in with those tips and tricks section. Is every time you do a mission, you need to talk to an NPC. Talk to all NPCs, do their dialogue. If you aren't aware already, if you don't want to read it and go through all of it, step by step, you can press escape. I'm not sure what you can do on controller, but you can cancel out the dialogue and just go to the selection menus. And it's all in all, it makes the dialogue stuff a little bit quicker. Some choices will give you some reputation to either Sentinel, Freelancer, or Arcanist, which are the 3 factions in the game. But those are the factions you're going to want to kind of work on, because one, you get the ability to craft certain items through those factions, but you also get stuff to customize your javelin as certain metals, certain vanity items, stuff like that. Those are definitely things you're going to want to work on sooner rather than later. Now, just to briefly talk about the other missions, agent missions and story missions are what you're going to work on for leveling, but contracts and free play are also viable, but they're not as viable. Free play, we noticed we were getting high amounts of XP, but we'd have to spend 45 minutes to an hour or more in said thing, and we'd have to find events. Events on completion can give you up to 500 to 800 XP per completion, plus a chest. Which is good, and they also want you to do those now. They have I think they buffed the chests. I mean, I might be incorrect there, but since world, like the actual chests you can find in the world, got nerfed, those in a way I think got buffed to kind of make people do events that as a means to acquire loot. But free play, I would definitely, just to mix it up, I would do a couple of missions, maybe do a bit an hour of free play, go back and do the missions, talk to the NPCs. The talking to the NPCs, I cannot stress enough, is very, very, very important. You will fall behind on certain things, whether it be factions or side missions. You have to do these eventually. Just do them. So my biggest tip right there of this video is just talk to NPCs, do the missions, story missions and side, and you will quickly level, but also keep your factions up to snuff so you can get, the extra vanity items. So contracts, for the most part, we noticed were more for rewarding. Well, some of them were giving, decent XP. They had to be a high level one. Lower tier contracts were giving us like 1,000 to 2,000 XP. It was really weird. So as far as I can tell, at the high end tier, like the legendary or epic, contracts, they're very, very rewarding. But in terms of the other ones just for leveling, they're not exactly that good, but you need to shuffle through those eventually. But they're not really a means of leveling, and plus they're not really they're not frequent enough to really use for leveling anyways. But they are something a little bit extra, as I do reward a certain amount of faction for whatever faction you're doing them for. And just one quick tip: make sure if you are playing with a group to make sure you kind of, before you join the squad, kind of figure out as a group what you're trying to do, to kind of figure it out. Unfortunately, the group system is kind of wonky in regards to whoever is lead kind of controls the whole board, even more so with the day one patch. Because you can't actually look at the boards anymore, which I'm hoping they change. But have a game plan, figure it out what you guys want to do, and then just go from there. And that concludes our video. Now this is a question I get asked so many times, so I figured I would get this video out for you guys quickly before the actual launch of the game. Just, yeah, if you have any more questions, please join us on one of our live streams. We stream here on YouTube 5 days a week, excluding Mondays and Thursdays. We are a variety stream, so we do a PM stream, usually at 12, which is at the moment Far Cry. But at 8 p.m. Eastern, we've been playing Anthem, and we're already at GM2 level. And we have a very well organized group with comms, and any of the people that I play with are open to answer questions either about Storm, Interceptor. I answer Colossus and Ranger. So thank you guys for watching. If this video helps you in any way to kind of, help you focus on your Anthem leveling, please hit us up with a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in one of our live streams with the Anthem release. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.